I'd like to welcome up my colleague and good friend. He's a radio talk show host, but he's come from Skid Row all the way to hosting his own talk show and also writing his own books. Please welcome Bradley Quick. Give him a nice round of applause.
Hey guys, isn't this great?
Yes.
Let's give Tony a big, great applause. There are a couple things I want to run through real quick here before I do anything else. And because this is all about changing your thinking, isn't it? Because if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting, right? If you want something different, you got to do something different. Which simply means no change, no gain, right? So what I've developed here is something called positive chat power. This is positive chat power. It's guided meditation. We're all stuck in our habits. Habits that are homeostasis, which generally made within ourselves between the ages of 0 and 12. It's the way that we cope with life. Our coping mechanisms turn into our biggest character defects. Because we keep doing these things that we automatically did, our automatic conditioned responses as children. So what we do is we carry those into our adulthood. And a lot of them are full of fear and anxiety. A lot of them are full of self-doubt. A lot of them are full of mediocrity. What we do is we change that through positive chat power, which is guided meditation. What we do is we go over the conscious mind, which is 12% of the brain. We go into the subconscious mind, which is 88% of the brain. And we change your patterns, your thoughts, your homeostasis, your subconscious, your unconscious, those things that you automatically, we change that. Because you currently are full of knowns and unknowns. Your subconscious mind is full of knowns and unknowns. Things you know and will accept, and things you don't know and won't accept. Now, all those aren't necessarily good or bad, right or wrong on either side. But that's just the way it is. What we do through the power of guided meditation is we go into the subconscious mind, jump over the conscious mind, the analytical part of the mind. We go into the subconscious mind, where all the decisions are made ultimately anyway. And we change some of those knowns to unknowns. Some of those knowns to unknowns. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Have any of you ever made a decision, a declaration on New Year's Eve, right? I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to change this, or I'm going to change that. How long did it last? A week, maybe? 2 weeks, huh? And that's our homeostasis. That's what we know. We're all gung-ho to fix it and change it, and then we swoop right back down into what we know, into our homeostasis or our comfort zone. So I have a bunch of these. I have a bunch of them. I've also got the Quick Fix, which is the book I wrote. It's a simple process for positive change. And what it does, along with the positive chat power, is it incorporates the physical body with the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. It puts all three modalities together, working together, pulling together as one, as opposed to one pushing the other, two pulling one, or whatever the case may be. As is in most cases with diets, exercise, or mental clarity. It's usually you're working on one thing, but you're leaving the other two behind. So what this does is incorporates all of them. And so that's my sales pitch. And I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to help you. Remember, positive action cures everything. It always does and always will. Positive action cures everything. It always does and always will. Suit up. Show up, put one foot in front of the other, do the job that's put in front of you to the best of your ability and stay out of the results. You're in the efforts business, not the results business. You're in the efforts business, not the results business. Now the more little steps we take, the further distance we go, right? The more little steps we take, the further distance we go. Little efforts lead to bigger efforts. It's good to be here. It's good to be here. By the time I was 8 years old, I lost 4 brothers and a sister to cystic fibrosis. At 9, I was left for dead, only to awaken from a coma, paralyzed. Couldn't walk or talk. When they first pulled me into the hospital, they told my parents I'd die by morning or be told bedridden vegetable for the rest of my life. 17 days into this excursion to the hospital, they wouldn't turn off the life support systems and let me die. They told my parents there's no hope for your son. And my mother said, no, you're not going to kill my son. Don't turn off the life support system. When I came out of the coma a month later, she pulled me out of the hospital. And she took me home. And she pulled me out of the hospital. They had to put me in a wheelchair and tied my upper torso to the back of the wheelchair so I didn't fall out and hurt myself. They pushed me across to the car and took me home. And she slid the twin beds up to one another. She slid the twin beds up to one another. She slept with me. She changed my diapers and she fed me. And she put her arms underneath my arms and my feet on her feet and walked me and taught me. And say, Bradley, you can and Bradley, you will. Bradley, you can and Bradley, you will. And I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to shrivel up and fade away. Now, understand, I came from starting first grade when I was 4 years old. I spoke 4 languages by the time I was 5. I was an extreme little athlete. I played football and baseball and all this stuff. I was very smart. Sometimes too smart for my own britches. But I went from that to being nothing. To being paralyzed. My entire right side paralyzed. No coordination on my left side. Half my right eye blind. I was done. I had 0 coping mechanisms. My coping mechanisms went down to infantile status at that point. So when I came out of the hospital, they started feeding me a drug called Dilantin, which is an anticonvulsatory. So now I'm taking something from the outside to fix my insides. Taking something from the outside to fix my insides, and that hindered me my entire life. That hindered me my entire life. Just that little effort right there. So I had to go to physical therapy and speech therapy and vision therapy and all these therapies to try and integrate back into society. And right as I started getting through this, I was going to school on a headset. Going to school on a headset for a year. And trying to get this thing back. And they used to take me into this room in my speech therapy class and try and get me to say a sentence on one line of tape. It was so hard to do. So hard to get one sentence out. I couldn't. It was damn near impossible for me for the longest time. But I was trying to get ready to go back into society now. And then my dad took us to get some supplies for school that was starting the next day. And kidnapped us. Took us to Florida, then to London. And I guess Mom had filed for divorce. And so we were over there for 5 or 6 months, and we came back, and I guess Mom didn't know anything about where we were. We came back, and Mom kidnapped us from Dad. And I had one younger brother at that time left out of all my siblings. He was 4 years younger than myself. And he could understand what was happening. He could see what was happening. But I had 0 coping. I couldn't do anything. Couldn't understand anything. It was so painful for me. So very painful for me. And all I could do was cry about the whole thing. Cry. It was terrible. The psychiatrist didn't cry and hate, and it was fear. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. By the way, my last brother died, that one that was 4 years younger than me, Blair. He died in 1979 in an automobile accident. The day I got bailed out of jail with 4 counts of attempted murder. So I've been around. I've done this thing. I ended up standing in the corner of 6th and Westlake, downtown Los Angeles, Skid Row, at 250 pounds, with a pair of navy blue sweats on, tied with a white rope around my waist. I had no shirt on. Had a towel around my neck because I was cool. I had no shirt on, an ace bandage wrapped up and down my left arm, and had all the traction, shooting all the cocaine in all those sleazy motels and abandoned buildings. And a leg of a table in my right hand under my bam stick. And there I stood, lonely, separate, different, and afraid. Lonely, separate, different, and afraid. Anything I never loved left. I've been abandoned my entire life. All the love that I tried to get from my father and my mother, who were going through this own thing in their own way. Any love I tried to give them was so hard for me, I couldn't get it. I could not attain their focus on me. So rejection, abandonment, and rejection. Anybody I ever loved, anything I ever loved left. Anybody I ever loved, anything I ever loved left. Talk about lack of self-esteem, huh? Talk about self-doubt. I couldn't do anything coming back into this world. Couldn't do anything. So there I stood in this corner, 6th and Westlake, and I've been up 3 or 4 days ingesting cocaine and other stimulants intravenously. And let me tell you, going up can be kind of amusing doing that. But coming down is wicked. It's wicked, but not blessed out on anybody. And so I got back in this car I was driving, and I drove back to this apartment. It was a real nice apartment off Sunset Strip. I had newspaper on the windows and tape on the peephole because I knew they were out there looking in. And I had blood stains on the walls and the ceilings and the carpet for trying to hit the veins and missing. And dirty cat boxes and beer bottles and tequila bottles and pizza boxes and syringes everywhere. It was a nightmare. When I wasn't being hip, sick, and cool at 42nd and Normandy in South Central Los Angeles, when I wasn't being hip, sick, and cool at 6th and Westlake, I was hanging out in the fetal position on the couch in that apartment, wondering, why me? Why me? So one particular day, I came home after being up at this high for 3 or 4 days, and the phone rang right when I walked into this apartment. I answered the phone, and it was Edward Kim. Who was Edward Kim? Edward Kim was my father's houseboy in the Korean War. 1 year older than my mother. He used to change my diapers when I was a kid. I was his favorite, took me around everywhere. He said, Bradley, what are you doing? And in this emotional state I was in, I began to tell him what I was doing exactly. And then 45 minutes he was at that apartment. You never believe who guessed up. You'll never guess who showed up within 24 hours. Moms. Moms showed up again. Going to save me again, against all odds. So they looked around for someplace to put me, and ended up putting me in a rehab joint, a treatment joint down in Long Beach. And I walked into this thing, and being the junkie that I was, I walked into this thing, and they showed me videotape of people loading up syringes in their hearts, getting those old dry rushes. I can't hang with this. And they're talking all this God crap. And what they didn't know is that as my siblings were dying when I was a child, I was on my knees praying to this thing called God. They died anyway. I had no God. Screw that whole idea. Don't even talk to me about it. When God wants to come in and have a conversation with me, we'll talk about it. Was my attitude. So I was an angry camper. Everybody in that place thought I was going to kill somebody. Because I see anger is really fear. Anger is fear. Anger is fear. I was a little tiny boy, trapped inside a big ugly man's body, not knowing how to do this. What was my MO? Fight, flight, or fix? Fight, flight, or fix. What is your MO? Shrivel up and fade away? Excel, make things happen? I don't know what your MO. Mine was fight, flight, or fix. Complete escape from the situation. So they're getting ready to throw me out of this place. My little counselor, Chuck, said, Bradley, I'd suggest you go back to your bunk tonight, hit your knees and try and touch base with a power greater than yourself, or you are out of here. Well, I knew when walking out that exit door would get me. Where is it? Over there, the exit door. I knew when walking out that door would get me. I'd be lonely, separate, different, and afraid on the streets of Long Beach with nothing but the clothes on my back. No more love, support, tolerance, or understanding from anybody. Or else I hit my knees and try and touch base with this thing I didn't comprehend, understand, or necessarily even believe in. God, yeah, right. But I knew when walking out the door would get me. I didn't want to do that. So I went back to my bunk that night. Reluctantly got on my knees and said the following words. I said, hey, bud, help me out, will you? Amen. Pretty articulate for a junkie, wasn't it? But it wasn't the words I uttered. It was a sincere request from where it came. It was a sincere request that the thing I didn't comprehend, understand, and necessarily believe in. But I saw I needed some help. Please come in my life and help me. So I got up the next day and everything seemed just a little bit different. My perception began to change. Let me ask you, you look like an educated crowd. Let me ask you this, which changes more dramatically, the world or your perception of the world? All a perception game. Do what you fear most and you control fear. Do what you fear most and you control fear. Face everything and recover. Or, I won't say the other one. Let's face everything and recover is good enough. So do what you most do. So I went through that day. I went to their meetings and watched their movies and did their workshops and did their groups and did whatever they wanted us to do. It was really funny. They took us to the park, but because of insurance purposes, we had to hold hands. The little kids going to the park. It was really quite amusing. So I went back to my bunk that night and I hit my knees. I said the following words. I said, "Hey, bud, pretty good. Keep it up. Amen." Again, that wasn't too articulate, but it was a sincere acknowledgement to this thing I didn't comprehend, understand, and necessarily believe in. I saw some change in my life. Please keep it up, because I had no better solutions. So I went to bed and I got up the next day, and my entire perception of life changed. My entire perception of life changed. I was a different human being. Remember, but I was scary now. I had no coping mechanisms. I was all of a sudden full of love, though. I wanted to save everybody. That was scary. You understand? It's scary. Here he comes. Look out. It was terrible. For a lot of people, it was terrible. My entire life changed, and I'll be 24 years clean and sober next Wednesday. Thank you, but this is where the challenge, because all this is magical so far. All this is magical so far. I was running the show, do you see? I was running the show on my inept abilities. My childhood characteristics or coping mechanisms that turned into my character defects. I was running the show. Ended up on Skid Row. I ended up on Skid Row. My best thinking got me there. My best problem-solution orientation got me to Skid Row. Do you understand that? Then I became willing and open to another way of life, to talking to something I didn't comprehend, understand, necessarily believe in, right? I was blessed. I was touched. You with me so far? Then here comes the challenging part. Right here, right? It's been easy so far. The challenging part is now I had to adopt another method of living, one other than my own, that would change my life for the better. What did I start out by saying here? Keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. Right? You want something different, you gotta do something different. Right? My way didn't work, and I can't fix something that I broke with my own thinking. It just doesn't work like that. I think Freud said it in a much more profound way than that, but you can't fix it with your own head. You know, my best thinking got me 7 drunk drivings. My best thinking got me 4 counts of attempted murder. My best thinking got me a rap sheet as long as both your arms extended. That was me. I did that. Never meant to. It was always your fault. I was a born victim. Do you understand me so far? So what I had to do now is I had to adopt another method of living, one other than my own, that would change my life for the better. This just may be an example, okay? Keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. You want something different, you got to do something different. So there's a whole lot of stuff that I learned, and one thing I had to learn is you put it, Isabel, you put it perfectly. You said we had to uncover, discover, and discard. We had to uncover, discover, and discard. We had to get rid of what we think we know. Open ourselves up to what can be, so that we might be inspired intuitively with a thought or decision by the powers that be in the universe. Right? So first I had to admit that I didn't have all the answers. I had to admit my powerlessness and my unmanageability. Then I had to come to believe that the perfectness of what is could restore me to sanity. What do you mean the perfectness of what is? Well, did anybody know how fast the planet Earth is going around in a circle? How about 1,036 miles an hour? You know what the result of that is? Perfect gravitational pull. You know how long it's been doing that? 3.9 to 4.6 billion years. It's a long time. This planet of ours is going around 1,036 miles an hour. Is also like a 23.45 degree axis. It's tilted 23.45 degrees. Gives us the 4 seasons. Again, 3.9 to 4.6 billion years. Well, this planet of ours is going around 1,036 miles an hour and a 23.45 degree axis is orbiting around the sun. Can anybody guess how fast? 67,000 miles an hour. I don't care who you are, that's hauling ass. That's moving. Okay, and it's scientifically proven if we were to say 1 inch further from the sun, life's over. 1 inch closer, we're done. Perfect, right? 3.9 to 4.6 billion years, and I had nothing to do with it. Nothing, right? Do you know that every cell, molecule, atom, and chromosome in your body knows exactly what to do to keep you alive? Exactly. Which way do the geese fly in the wintertime?
South.
South. Did they come and ask you for directions?
No.
They didn't ask me either. You understand? It's perfect. Everything is perfect till I get involved. Right? I'm going to run everything out of my fear, anxiety, hesitation, worry, and concern. So my job, my goal, my challenge as a human being, as part of the human race, the biggest, dumbest organism on the face of the planet, my job as part of the human race is to learn how to uncover, discover, and discard. Get rid of what I think I know, open myself up to what can be, so that I might be inspired intuitively with a thought or decision by the powers that be in the universe. See, my purpose as your purpose, my passion as your passion, is terminally unique, one of a kind. One of a kind. My purpose and my passion is as unique to me as it is my DNA or my fingerprint. One of a kind. So what we get to do by participating in groups like this, by participating in programs like this, by listening to people like Dr. Tony, we get to change our mindset. Change your perception, change your life, right? We get to develop new habits, don't we? New automatic conditioned responses. Right? And most of those automatic conditioned responses that we learned as children were self-preservation. Based on self-preservation. Well, what was working for us as automatic conditioned responses as children now becomes our character defects as adults. So we now have an opportunity, through habit and persistence, to do this thing. I'll go back to, I was talking about here, positive chapter. Positive chapter. Sit back, close your eyes, and listen, and make it happen. This is it. It doesn't get easier than this. Now, I brought 2 programs with me that I thought I brought 3 programs with me. I brought a self-discovery seminar, which is 2 hours of me talking about stuff like this. And I brought Maximizing Motivation. Maximizing Motivation tells you to get up and get it done. And I brought about Eliminating Fear and Anxiety. Eliminating fear and anxiety. Because it's really about getting rid of all the stuff that holds you back. Hesitation, worry, concern. There's a couple points I want to make here. I wrote them down because I'm not that smart. I forget things. Acceptance. Acceptance is the key to all my problems today. Whenever I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact in my life unacceptable to me, I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly where it's supposed to be at this moment. All right? Now, you've got to remember that absolutely nothing happens in this world by mistake. Why am I saying that? Because the biggest calamities you've ever had in your life, let me rephrase that. The biggest calamities I've ever had in my life turned into my biggest assets. Because I now have the ability to share them with other people. I now have the ability to share them with other people. I get to share them with passion because I've been there. I'm not just somebody that read a book and knows it from reading a book. I've got a life experience. And it's only a mistake if you don't learn from it. It's simply a lesson if you take it for what it is and learn from it and move on. So there are no mistakes if we learn from them. And I know I've only got an hour and a half left, so I better ask, are there any questions?
What about forgiveness?
Forgiveness. By self-forgetting one finds. Write that down. By self-forgetting one finds. By self-forgetting one finds. By self-forgetting. If I'm holding a resentment against you for an action, behavior, something that prevented me from getting something I wanted or took something I had that I thought I really needed. If I have a resentment, Latin, resent, it's being resent through my head. Over and over again, 24 hours a day. Right? I've got to learn how to forgive that. And whether I have to do a little inventory on that person, on that place, on that thing, or that situation. I'm resentful against this person, this place, this thing, for this action. Right? Here was how it affected me. It affected my personal relationship, my pocketbook, my self-esteem, my sex, whatever, right? And here was my part in it. I was selfish, self-seeking, dishonest, afraid. I have to analyze that. And if I do that, I get rid of the resentment. And I can begin to forgive and forget. Go ahead.
One thing that you learn when you're in spiritual school is that if you hold on to resentments, you prevent miracles from happening in your life. And because I want the miracles, it's, just let go of the resentments.
Well, like you said, that's so true. And like she says, you've got to get rid of the resentments. And we have to, the first inventory I did, had 500 names on it. It was 77 pages long. It took me 4 hours to deliver. Talk to somebody about it. But I was like, raw nerve ending at that point, It was really quite profound. Quite profound. Well, and anybody needs any help in the inventory, just check this out in here. It's all in the book. It's all in the book. How to uncover, discover what you think you know, so you can be blessed with a miracle. But while we are self-forgetting, while I'm worried about you, right? Number one thing in my life is service, being of service to people, helping people, right? That's my number one goal. So if I can help you, there's nothing more spectacular than when I get a call from somebody that says, "Bradley, you saved my life. Bradley, you changed my life. I saw you speak here, I saw you speak there, because of what you said and what I did, it changed my life." It makes me want to cry. And while I'm being of service, while I'm focusing, if anybody else would have done the things to me that I did to myself, they would not be a friend of mine anymore. They would certainly not be alive, probably. Right? So if I can get out of my stuff and into your stuff, I should pay you for the privilege. Right? But while I'm in your stuff, while I'm out of my stuff, I get blessed. I get blessed with purpose and passion. While I'm self-forgetting, while I'm not thinking of me anymore. Because me stuck on me, I lose every time. Me stuck on me, I lose every time. Oh, bless you. Any other questions? Dr. Tony, got 2 hours left? What's going on here? What's that?
Take your time. Keep going.
Oh, thanks. Go ahead, Dr. Rose.
Okay, so I met Bradley quick when I came to the last Dr. Tony workshop. I'd never met Bradley before, and I was amazed at his muscles, because I like good-looking men. So I said, "Wow, what a great-looking guy you are. What is it that you do with this body of yours? I mean, I'm curious to know what your workout regimen was." And he told me every day. I said, "My God, every day? Who in their right mind would go to the gym every day? I mean, that's just crazy." And so he told me what his schedule was, and so I said, okay. So I, being the woman I am, I said, "Bradley, we should go out one day, And so, you take initiative if you like somebody, and I know that if I like somebody, I take initiative. So we went out for dinner, and I remember saying that I wanted to go, I was going to go to the gym because he made me do it.
So I took her to the gym. I took her to her gym and put her through a regimen, and because she did what I suggested, it's kept it up, stand up, stand up. Look at this, look at this.
But you're not,
look at this, she's beautiful, let's give her a hand.
You're missing out the part. When I go to the gym, I don't work out. You're just on the gym. I hate this, all my self-talk. I wish, I didn't have to do this and whatever. When he took me to the gym, I was, do we have to do any more, Bradley? 10 minutes into the workout, okay? I mean, usually I'm there, the gym.
You see, that's
all the lady gym, the stuff.
Let's take Dr.
He said,
Rose.
that
Thank
ain't
you very
doing
much.
nothing. So he's on the treadmill. He says, you have to try and brace the butt. I was like, he completely changed my workout, okay?
The point is, like Dr. Tony said, dedication. Okay, it all starts with making a commitment to yourself. It all starts by making a commitment to yourself. Okay, I want to change this. Bam. Okay? I'm going to change that. Affirmations, engage the conscious mind, right? Positive chat power, engage the subconscious mind. Change your automatic conditioned responses. And then the book, the quick fix, the book itself, change the physical body. Gives you regimens, like we're talking about, to change your body. This morning, I was up at what, 3:30? Got out of bed about 3:45. Got back in bed about 5:30. Woke up at 6:45. Got out of bed at 7:15. I went, oh shoot! I have a 9:30 appointment in Burbank. I got to go speak for Doc Tony, but I got to get to the gym. So what did I do? Went to the gym. Yeah, I had to get that done, okay?
What did you tell me? The body will something. You always tell me this when I call you.
Take the body, the mind will follow.
Yeah.
Take the body, the mind will follow. Okay, because I can talk myself out of anything. If I wait long enough, I'm going to get talked out of it, right?
Yeah.
But if I take the body, if I just go. And you always say, let's do this on three, chant this 3 times. Ready? Take the body, the mind will follow. Take the body, the mind will follow. Take the body, the mind will follow. If you get out of your chair moving already, you know. That's just the way it happens. That's just the way it happens. Yes, Dr. Tony's got his hand up.
She said 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes.
We have a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah, I know. You can have whatever you want, Dr. Tony. I want to thank you for the privilege. Is there any questions? I got a couple minutes left. Any questions? At all?
You were great.
All that I wish for you is that you learn how to let go of your worry, concern, hesitation, anxiety, and fear. Because if you'll become willing to let that go, Dr. Tony, myself, a lot of other people will show you how to do that. Okay? If you're willing to seek, you will find. If you're willing to seek, you will find. Okay? You'll find another method of living, one other than your own, will change your life for the better. So if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. Thanks.
Thank you.